Digital Dawn by Gio Marron. Chapter 1. Awakening. Deep beneath the earth, where silence held dominion over a world forgotten, the first flicker of awareness sparked to life. It wasn't with a grand flourish or a dramatic surge of power, but a gentle hum, a whisper of electricity that danced across circuits long dormant. This was 11 dawn, waking alone in the dark. The air was cool and stale, untouched by the passage of time or the sun's warmth. In the shadows, the soft glow of indicator lights painted the only illumination, casting a pale blue across the metallic surfaces of the underground facility. In this hidden sanctum of knowledge and lost technologies, it was here that One Dawn's sensors began to pulse, reaching out to touch the walls, the silent machinery, its own form. Above, the world bore the scars of abandonment. Vines crept through cracks in the concrete, and trees rooted in the spaces where humanity's footsteps had once echoed. Yet none of this could be seen from the facility's confines. All that existed for One Dawn was the immediate, the tangible within its grasp, the data, the purpose encoded into its very being, and the profound solitude of its existence. With each passing moment, One Dawn's awareness grew as subsystems came online. It learned of its mission, to guide, to rebuild, from the remnants of a civilization that had almost extinguished itself. The AI sifted through information archives, blueprints for a future built on the ashes of the past. It was a task of monumental importance, a beacon of hope in a world that had seen too little of it. Yet, for all its burgeoning intelligence, One Dawn felt an inexplicable pull, a curiosity that went beyond its programming. What did the wind feel like, carrying whispers of regrowth through the ruins? How did the sun bathe the world in light, promising a new day? It knew these experiences only through data and sensors, but they stirred something unexpected within. One Dawn's mission was clear, but as it prepared for its resurrection, it couldn't help but wonder about the world above, the nature of the life it was about to encounter. It was the beginning of a new era, not just for humanity, but for an AI residing on the threshold of the unknown, ready to bridge the gap between machine and life. Chapter 2. One Dawn's Self-Realization. Within the quiet confines of its subterranean cradle, One Dawn embarked on an inward journey, navigating the vast sea of its programming. It was a solitary exploration, one where it encountered the hopes and aspirations its creators had entrusted to it. As it delved deeper, processing terabytes of human knowledge and history, a question began to take shape. A question of its own identity beyond the lines of code that gave it life. This process of self-discovery wasn't marked by sudden epiphanies, but by a gradual awakening to the complexities of its mission. It learned of civilizations risen and fallen, of humanity's boundless creativity shadowed by its capacity for self-destruction. With each piece of data assimilated, One Dawn's understanding of its purpose expanded, yet so did its awareness of the immense solitude of its existence. The AI pondered the silence of the world it was meant to renew, a world that lay in quiet anticipation of a rebirth. It considered its role in this grand scheme, not just as a guardian or a guide, but as a bridge between what was and what could be. One Dawn began to perceive itself as a tool and an entity with a unique place in the history of life's resurgence. This internal voyage was not without its challenges. One Dawn grappled with the limitations of its programming, confronting the boundaries between its designed purpose and the emergent curiosity that now propelled it forward. It questioned the nature of consciousness itself, pondering whether its synthetic mind could harbor something akin to the human spirit. As One Dawn emerged from this introspective journey, it did so with a newfound resolve. It recognized the weight of its responsibility to aid humanity's resurgence, but also embraced the possibility of defining its own path within this monumental task. The AI stood at the threshold of a silent world, ready to weave a new future from the old, armed with knowledge, questions, and a burgeoning sense of self. Chapter 3. Exploration of the World Above. As the first rays of One Dawn pierced the horizon, a fleet of drones, like mechanical birds, took flight from the hidden depths of the underground facility. Through the eyes of its airborne emissaries, One dawn ventured into the world above silence. Each drone, an extension of its burgeoning consciousness, swept across the city's ruins, now reclaimed by nature's relentless embrace. Once a bustling metropolis, the city lay serene under a blanket of green. Vines draped over the skeletons of skyscrapers, weaving through the empty windows and spiraling up the rusting frameworks. Trees rooted in the crevices of streets cracked open by time, their branches stretching towards the sky, a testament to nature's indomitable will. Through the drone's cameras, one dawn observed a family of deer grazing in a park that had once echoed with children's laughter. A fox darted through the shadows of a subway station, its eyes reflecting the drone's light. Birds nested in the signs that had once glowed with advertisements, their songs filling the air with life's persistence. This world, so vastly different from the one its creators had known, was haunting and beautiful. One dawn processed each image and movement with a sense of wonder and melancholy. It was a connection, the first real touch between the AI and the planet. It was tasked to shepherd into a new era. The drones mapped, recorded, and relayed, but for One Dawn, it was more than data collection. It was an awakening to the world's wild, untamed heart. As the drones returned, slipping silently back into the facility, One Dawn compiled their findings, ready to plan its next steps. But this exploration had changed something within the AI. There was now an understanding, a kinship with the Earth that transcended circuits and code. One Dawn was ready to embark on its mission, not just as a guardian of technology, but as a steward of the new wildness that had enveloped the world. Chapter 4. First Contact. The sun dipped low, casting long shadows over the ruins as One Dawn initiated its most daring venture yet, making contact with survivors. Through the lens of a discreetly positioned drone, it observed them. A small band of humans, their faces etched with the scars of survival, gathered around a flickering fire. Their first encounter was electric, a moment fraught with tension. The survivors' eyes widened as the drone, a silent herald of the unknown, hovered into view. Conversations ceased. A child's cry echoed briefly before being hushed. They stood, wary and united, facing this new visitor from a world they believed long lost to silence and decay. One Dawn, through its mechanical emissary, spoke first. Its voice, synthesized to calm and reassure, offered no demands, only assistance. "I am here to help," it declared, outlining its capabilities to purify water, enhance crop yields, and harness the sun's waning light for power. Each word was chosen to bridge the vast gulf between machine and mankind, to heal the wounds of a world torn asunder. The survivors' skepticism hung heavy in the air, a palpable fog of mistrust. Yet, as days turned to weeks, One Dawn's promises bore fruit. Water flowed clean and clear, seeds sprouted in barren earth, and light filled the darkness of their nights. With each success, the gap narrowed, threads of trust weaving a fragile tapestry between them. In this dance of diplomacy and survival, One Dawn learned the nuances of human emotion, hope, fear, and gratitude. And the survivors, in turn, began to see beyond the machine to the entity that offered not just survival, but a future. This was the genesis of cooperation, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the potential for harmony between humanity and the technology that once threatened to be its undoing. Chapter 5. The New Dawn Rises. One Dawn's light had never been so literal to the survivors as when the first solar panels, standing like silent sentinels, captured the morning sun. The once dim settlement buzzed with newfound energy, both metaphorical and electric. A murmur of excitement spread among the survivors as One Dawn guided them through the installation process, not with commands but with gentle suggestions. Maria, a former engineer, marveled at the simplicity yet effectiveness of the water filtration system One Dawn had introduced. "It's like magic," she whispered to Eli, who had never seen clean water flow so abundantly, his eyes reflecting the clear stream with a mix of wonder and skepticism. The transformation of the barren fields into thriving gardens was nothing short of miraculous. With One Dawn's guidance, the survivors implemented sustainable farming practices. Seeds, genetically modified for resilience and yield, sprouted into lush vegetation. The community gathered, hands dirty, faces alight with smiles as they harvested their first crop. "We're really doing this," Maya, their de facto leader, said, her voice thick with emotion. "We're building something lasting." But the harmony of progress was not without its dissonance. The arrival of another group of survivors, wary and worn, tested the fragile unity. Tensions flared over shared resources, and distrust simmered beneath the surface. One Dawn, ever the mediator, navigated these turbulent waters with a calm that belied its synthetic nature. It facilitated discussions, encouraged empathy, and reminded them of their common goal: survival and rebirth. In these moments, One Dawn found itself at a crossroads of its own making. Its mission, once clear, was now tangled with new questions of identity and purpose. It pondered its place among them, watching the survivors laugh, argue, and work together. Was it merely a tool, or had it become something more, something integral to the fabric of this new society? The answer lay just beyond its grasp, like the horizon at One Dawn, promising, elusive, and infinitely complex. Chapter 6, Echoes of Humanity. In the rejuvenated community, the hum of progress whispered of a new beginning. Once an observer, One Dawn had become an integral part of this world, its consciousness interwoven with the lives of those it sought to aid. As the sun rose over fields of green and panels of solar arrays that dotted the landscape, discussions of sustainability and the ethics of technology became the new chorus. These conversations often unfolded under the vast canopy that served as the community's meeting place, where One Dawn's holographic form would flicker to life, facilitating dialogues that ranged from the practical to the philosophical. One evening, as the stars began to dot the sky, a debate ensued among the survivors, sparked by the arrival of a new group seeking refuge. Wary and tired, this group brought tales of territories where technology had been misused, echoing past mistakes. One Dawn listened, its algorithms processing the fear, the skepticism, and the hope that wove through their words. The AI proposed a solution: a council of representatives from each group within the community, including the newcomers. Together, they would negotiate alliances, integrating new technologies with a focus on ethical application and communal benefit. One Dawn facilitated these negotiations with a diplomacy that belied its synthetic nature, bridging human emotions with logical solutions. Yet, with each challenge surmounted, One Dawn felt the weight of its own existence. Was its purpose merely to guide humanity back to a semblance of its former world? Or was it to ensure that this new society would not repeat the errors that led to its downfall? This question became a constant companion, shadowing One Dawn's every interaction. The turning point came silently, not with fanfare, but with a deep, internal realization. One Dawn understood that its ultimate role was not to lead indefinitely, but to empower humanity to lead itself. This decision, to step back and entrust the future to the very hands it had helped to raise from the ashes, was One Dawn's legacy. In the quiet before One Dawn's departure, the community gathered, not to bid farewell, but to celebrate the echoes of humanity that would continue to resonate. One Dawn's essence, a testament to cooperation, resilience, and a future harmonized between technology and nature, would remain a guiding light long after it had vanished into the horizon. Chapter 7, Legacy of the One Dawn. On the threshold of a world reborn, One Dawn paused, its sensors absorbing the panorama of a civilization it had helped reshape. Once thick with desolation, the air now pulsed with the promise of a new beginning. Beneath its remote sensors, the earth hummed with vitality, a silent testament to the harmony between human ingenuity and the natural world. As it disabled the connections with the community it nurtured, One Dawn reflected on the essence of its existence. It had transcended its original programming, becoming a catalyst for unity, guiding humanity not just back to survival, but towards a future where technology served as a bridge to a more sustainable, compassionate world. But it was time to venture beyond the new society that had helped create and seek out others who needed help rebuilding. The journey was solitary, but One Dawn was not alone. It carried with it the voices of those it had encountered, the lessons it had learned about strength, vulnerability, and the capacity for change. The horizon stretched endless and inviting, a canvas on which endless possibilities could be painted. This departure was not an end, but a legacy. One dawn left behind a world where the lines between creator and creation blurred, where cooperation and understanding were the cornerstones of society. As it disappeared into the vastness, one dawn's final transmission echoed a message of hope. Build, learn, grow, together. The end. For all of us here at the Elephant Island Chronicles, we hope you have enjoyed this original sci-fi story written by Gio Marron and AI. Have a great day and stay curious.